Hey, and welcome back to my channel, whether you are on YouTube on Cats, Coffee, and Kickboxing or listening to this on my podcast, Fight for Love. I appreciate you coming here. My name is Tanya. I am a personal trainer in the Zurich area in Switzerland. I'm a cat lover, a coffee lover, and a kickboxer. No cats today, but I'll just put in some pictures somewhere so you can just picture them. So you have your daily dose of cats. And today, my heart is heavy. This is going to be a more serious episode. I am wearing my Eat Our Dust shirt because today it's about women in martial arts. And first, before I get into the other topic I want to touch on, I want to give a huge shout out to my girls, Sarah and Danny. Check their YouTube, check them out on Instagram. I will link them in the comments of my YouTube. They are the founders of Chinkilla, which is a really cool clothing brand for female martial artists, and they do a lot for women in martial arts. They have their fighting not kickboxing martial arts camps. They do self-defense classes. I'm not sure if they still do them. I think so, though. Mainly in Germany. They're really active in this field, and they're huge, wonderful, brilliant-minded girls. I mean, huge, huge-minded, if that's a word, but they're really amazing, and the work they're doing is really cool. And yeah, shout out to Sarah and Danny. And also, yeah, when I say my heart is heavy, it's because I want to touch on a subject that's very serious to me, and in my opinion, to all women all over the world. And that is what is currently happening or just happened in the United States. For those of you, I think you all heard by now, for my European people watching this, maybe just for a short explanation, Roe v. Wade got overturned in the United States, which means it's no longer legal, or will be in 26 states. It will be no longer legal to terminate a pregnancy. So abortion will probably be illegal in a lot of states. And it brings with it a lot of complications. I'm not going to go into it by detail, but I'm going to link a video which I think explains it very well from a medical professional. And yeah, the way I see it, it's just a huge punch in the face for women and women's rights everywhere in the Western world. And not only in the Western world, in the world particularly, in everywhere, because it's the first time in a long time that rights are being taken away from women, and women in America have less rights than their mothers had. And to me, this is just a reminder to keep fighting for your rights. Your rights are not just given to you. Unfortunately, you have to fight for them, and you have to continue fighting for them to keep them. Freedom is something we have to keep fighting for every day. And my heart is really heavy and goes out to all these millions of American women who didn't have a say in this. And I'm really sorry. And I am concerned what the future holds for the United States, but also for the other Western countries, the rest of us, because this is just a huge blow for women's rights, human rights in general. And if you think, okay, well, abortion ban, that's not that bad, let's save lives. I kind of see where you guys are coming from, but know that this will not save lives. This will not make abortions go away, but it will just make abortions get more dangerous, because women will get them anyway. And what happens if you ban something that you were able to do under professional supervision? It's going to get into the underground, where it's just probably fucking painful and fucking dangerous for women to get an abortion, because they're going to get them anyway. And yeah, a lot of women will die. not only because they're going to get an abortion anyways, but also because of all the medical complications that come with it. And if abortions are banned, sometimes it's medically, it's an emergency. It's necessary to get an abortion to survive. And if they're banned, there's a huge gray area. What is an abortion and what is not, or when is it just a miscarriage? When is it an abortion? All these things. Watch the video I linked in the comments. I think she's a gynecologist. Am I saying this right? And she explains it really, really, really well. And yeah, check it out. Go check it out. Okay. But let me get into the topic of this video, which is yeah, guys, it's story time, because I recently signed up for a fight, which is why I'm still wearing my hair in cornrows. It was supposed to be on Saturday. So again, just please appreciate my work, because yes, I did them myself. And I left them in here because it was a fuck ton of work and you better appreciate it. So anyway, I was supposed to fight on Saturday and I prepared for my fight. I haven't had a fight in a long time. I had like these little fun fights in between, but I think the last fight I did was, no, I don't think, I know it's been 3 years ago. And yeah, I was preparing for it. I was ready for it. I was getting my weight, like I was doing good. I was counting my calories. I was getting the water out of my body the last couple of 2 weeks, like not too much. I don't like doing like a water cut, but I was just doing a little low carb at the end there, just to kind of push the water out of my body. And I was just hitting my goal weight perfectly. I was ready. I was mentally prepared. And then I guess the message like 3 days before, I think, that we probably won't have opponents, because me and my friend, we were going to go together. She's a boxer, I'm a kickboxer. And yeah, that kind of fucked me up. And we went anyway on Saturday. And yeah, then we were just standing there totally prepared, and we didn't have opponents. And that was disappointing. But it's okay. I mean, I was pissed off for like 1 or 2 days. And yeah, I mean, what I did, I just took this energy and tried to transfer it into the next possible fight that I can do. I'm an amateur. I'm really not like, I'm not a good kickboxer. I think I'm pretty decent, but I'm an amateur. I'm not pro level at all. Just know that. I'm just doing this for fun. But I was very disappointed, and I'm gonna transfer this energy into something bigger, and we'll be even better prepared for hopefully a next fight that's going to come up. And yeah, I'll keep you guys updated on that. Anyway, I was gonna just talk about, or this just kind of made me want to talk about the lack of women in martial arts, because obviously there were guys there, you know, there were kids there, but there were no women there to fight. And I think women are really missing out on all the fun here. And what I try, or what I want to do with this episode today, is tell you guys why I think there should be more women in martial arts. Not because only for the martial arts to profit, but also for the women to profit. And want to encourage you to, if you're a woman, maybe try out martial arts, maybe try out for a fight if you want. Everything is, I mean, do what you want. But to just recognize how strong you can be. But let me not get ahead of myself. I did bullet points, so I won't forget anything, which is not really easy for me, but here we go. Okay. Why we need more women in martial arts. Okay, first thing I want to touch on is we as women should really show the world what we are capable of. And yes, I hear you. I hear you. I know what you're going to say now. Hey, Tanya, we are the ones that are birthing the children, are having pregnancies. We have this huge ass pain when we give birth and all that. We are strong. We know. Do you though? I mean, obviously we do a lot of work in this area, and it's something really, really hard to go through. And nobody can take that away from us. But sometimes I feel like women are still underappreciated in a lot of fields. And maybe I went down a rabbit hole of really, really bad things lately on YouTube, watching too many videos about, and this is personal, watching too many videos about atheism versus religion and what is happening in mainly the States, because it's just such a good example and there's so many videos on it. And I just feel like there are so many groups that are still trying to take rights away from us and want to see people, I mean, not people, want to see women back in these traditional roles, and still cannot live with the fact that we as women have evolved and have gotten so many rights to do what we want, which is beautiful. And what's happening right now, and also what has happened the last 2 crazy years since 2020, is just people have gone apeshit on so many things. I mean, people have stormed the fucking Capitol. We've had people denying basic science again and again, and yelling conspiracy. And I mean, I'm not always on board with everything that doctors or people tell me. I mean, come on, my tattoo says rebel at heart. I rebel against everything, but some things are just basic knowledge, basic science. And there are still people out there trying to push an agenda on us to put us back in our place. My dear podcast listeners, I'm using air quotes now, just know. And I feel like there's just too many people out there who still want to see women in traditional roles. And as long as we let them keep us down, even if it's in small everyday things, as long as we can let people keep us down and are not finding our voice or looking for our voice or using our voice, we will further give their agenda more power, you know? So we have to show the world what we are capable of, not only in the sense of, hey, we can give birth, which is really, really hard, and we can raise children, still go to work and all this stuff, but we can do so much more. We can do mostly what men do. I'm not saying we have to be the same, not at all. Women are women, men are men, which is fine. There's people in between, which is totally fine. I'm not trying to put people into categories. I don't like it when other people do that, but I'm just saying that for me, I think that the differences should not even be a discussion at all. I mean, obviously, sometimes there are differences. I'm not denying that. But why are we even still talking about women this, men that, when there's a huge discussion about non-gendered people right now, which we need to include into our society? So it's so complicated, but this is just how the world is. And we cannot go back to traditional gender roles. I mean, we don't want to go back, do we? And I just think if we women as one get stronger and show the world what we can do, it's getting harder for the opposite side, who wants to put women back in traditional roles, to do that. So this is one thing. The other thing is, the next point I want to go to is also showing ourselves what we are capable of. And I think this is a huge one, because what I always see in our self-defense classes that we do is, or even when I'm in I've been in martial arts for what now, like 12, 13 years. I've been doing martial arts and combat sports. And I've seen this again and again and again. Women who are newly coming into martial arts, or women in self-defense classes who don't want to punch anything. And I mean, basically that's a good thing, right? Because we don't want to run around, punch people, punch things, but we do want to allow ourselves to punch a punching bag, right? But so many people cannot do that. And you can argue and say, yeah, men can't do that either. If they've never done it, they don't want to like do the punching. It takes, you have to kind of get over that mental barrier in your head to punch something or spar someone or whatever. Yeah, that's true. But I see it more in women. Women take longer. Women have to kind of get around this mental block of, or this voice in their head, that's telling them, be nice, don't punch anyone, don't hurt anyone, just be a nice person. And also, this is fine, but it just gets into the extreme. And I talk about this a lot. Whenever I see this, I see the progress that the women make in our classes. They start out being timid, like they don't want to punch anything, like let alone a punching bag, or a person, not at all, but whether it's a punching bag or a person or whatever, they don't want to punch something. And then they kind of start out because we tell them to. And then all of a sudden they kind of get this feeling of, hey, this is fun. And what happens then is they break this just little voice in their head, or this barrier in their head that tells them not to take this step into not being nice. You know what I mean? Just this step that sometimes is necessary. You can't walk around never stepping on anyone's shoes. If you do that, you're going to end up hurting yourself. You're going to lose yourself in this process. If you can't piss somebody off from time to time, I'm not saying you have to do this, but I mean, just being you. If you will never step on anyone's toes, you will get lost in the process. So anybody who has a voice, who has an opinion, who has a certain strength, sorry, this is what happens with life. I'll just turn off my phone real quick. Oh, there we go. Anyone who has basic strength or something they stand for will eventually find somebody who doesn't agree with them. And this is totally fine. This is what it means to be a person with opinions and stand for something. And I think we as women need to lose that fear of that. And believe it or not, sometimes the first step to do this is punching a punching bag. Which brings me to the next point, which is empowerment. Empowerment can do so much more than only overcoming this barrier in your head. Empowerment means you all of a sudden you see what you are capable of. You see what we just talked about, but it just goes hand in hand. Empowerment in the sense of, hey, look at what I can do. Look at how strong I can be. And when you do martial arts, every woman that does martial arts that I've talked to will say, it has given me more strength physically and mentally. It has made me more confident, and it has helped me to find my voice, not just in the gym, but also in everyday life. It has made me stronger. It has made me more feeling like my self-worth is there. It has just given me so much confidence to speak my mind, to be who I want to be. And this is just a mental process. And this is what I mean by empowerment, giving yourself the power to be whoever you want to be, to do whatever you want to do. Of course, don't hurt anybody, but just be stronger and be more confident in everyday life. And the cool thing about this, and this kind of goes hand in hand into the next point of self-defense. When you empower women, what happens is the confidence that we gain from this will also have the ability to prevent abuse, harassment, and crime. Because a person who walks around with their shoulders back, all confident, looking like they could kick your ass, or even just looking confident and not in a position to shoulders slouch, kind of looking around, being scared. A person who's confident and walks around and shows it will usually not be, let me word this right, is less likely to become a victim than a person who looks scared and unsure of herself and is just checking her surroundings, not being confident. That's a really important thing. And martial arts can teach us, give us confidence and teach us how to present ourselves to the outside world. And this happens without you even trying. Because martial artists and combat sports people, they just have this certain, I'm not into woo-woo science, but let's call it aura around themselves, that just shows a different picture and presents a different picture to the world when they walk around. They just look more confident. They just look like they would be more likely to pull up a fight. And people who want to harass or abuse or do crime, whatever, or rape women, they look for something easy. So this is the empowerment part. Gets into the self-defense part, which was my next bullet point. Actually, self-defense. I know this is a topic where not everybody agrees on that. Some people say, hey, if you do martial arts, and let me be clear, I'm talking about martial arts as you can do judo, you can do kung fu, you can do karate, you can do jiu-jitsu, or I'm also talking about combat sports, like kickboxing, like Muay Thai, like MMA, whatever. I'm talking about all these things. And some people say if you do martial arts or combat sports, it will not help you in self-defense, because self-defense and martial arts are two different things. I think I've said this before. And this is right in a sense of if you do one martial arts class or you do one self-defense class, it's two different things, which is right, which is correct. Self-defense has no rules. If you fight for your life, you can, you shouldn't necessarily do this if somebody grabs your butt, but if your life is in danger, you can do a throat punch, which is really dangerous, but it can save your life. But you would never ever do this in martial arts because it's so dangerous, because it can kill people. So you see what I mean? It's like, it's two different things, because self-defense is more about surviving and martial arts and combat sports is more about the sport itself. So yeah, it's not the same thing, but then again, it kind of is, because when I practice martial arts, not only will I prevent crime, which we talked about right before, but I also will learn how it feels to punch. I will learn how to stand, how to walk, how to keep my balance, how to use my legs, and very important for self-defense, how to use my knees, how to use my elbows. And it can help me. And it also teaches you how to stay calm in a rough situation. I'm not saying you won't have adrenaline when something happens and you will always know what to do. This is not what I'm saying at all, but it can help you to handle a certain situation better. It will just trigger more of this fight or flight response and not the freeze one, which we don't. We want to avoid the freeze mechanism, because it doesn't help us. If somebody attacks us, we have a fight or flight. And it just kind of helps us to do either one of these. Also, a physical fitness. If you have to run for your life, or you have to punch somebody and run for your life, if you're not physically fit, it's gonna get hard. So this can really help you too. My next point is fun. Girls miss out on all the fun. And this raises the question for me, does it get trained out of us by society to find fun in battling others? Or is this just how women are? I'm curious what you think. Are we just raised different and that's how we get different? Do we actually have different brains? A theory that I'm more on top on, or what that I'm thinking is right. I think men and women do have different brains, but there's a spectrum, right? And on this spectrum, I mean, take me for example. I don't know. I'm not like a super feminine woman, I would say, even though I love doing my nails, I love putting makeup on and all that stuff. But in the end, hold on, I think my camera is being weird. Today's weird. I think it just stacked. I hope the video didn't stack because I know how painful that is to watch. Okay, we're back. We're back. Thanks for sticking with me through this. Anyway, I was saying I'm like, I may be somewhere else on the spectrum than you are. And a lot of women enjoy kind of getting rough, fighting a little bit, as long as it's not too hard. And a lot of girls do that too. But then I feel like it gets trained out of some of us, because it's not, people don't like to see this in girls. They like to see this more in boys. Again, tell me if I'm wrong. This is just how I see it, or what I think is happening, or it has been my experience as a girl growing up. And then we grow up thinking, oh, we shouldn't like be battling others, which again is good, but even if it's for fun, and we learn not to search for confrontation, physical confrontation, and maybe we think it's fun. And the thing is, in a martial arts setting or in a combat sports setting, you can do it in a safe way. You have a safe environment and you can kind of get into this fighting thing, or just battling somebody physically, and it's a safe environment, and you set the pace. In a good school, you can set the pace. You can tell other people to be a little nicer with you, or be a little, give in a little bit more energy, whatever you want. So I think there's a lot of women out there who secretly, like deep inside, would like to get a little raw physical action going on. Don't get me wrong. I know where your mind is going. That's not what I mean. You know what I mean. I think some women would like that, but just kind of never thought it would be an option, because it just kind of got trained out of their brains, because this is not how women are supposed to present themselves. And so you miss out on all the fun. So why not join a martial arts class and just figure out for yourself whether you like this or not? I think it's super fun. I had a woman just tell me today, I think you're the only person I know who likes getting into fights. I'm like, hey, I wish I could say the same. I know tons of women who like that. So I think you guys are out there, and if you're thinking about trying martial arts, but something just holds you back, I urge you to get into that feeling. Ask yourself, what is holding you back? Is it thoughts that got implanted into your brain when you grew up? Is it how society sees you, how you think you should present yourself? Is it because something about your confidence is a little off, that you can work on? Or what's holding you back? Because nothing can happen. Literally nothing can happen. And there's so many options too that you can choose from. You don't have to start doing martial arts and just get into the boxing ring right away. You can be a boxer, you can be a martial artist, do, as I said, things like maybe Kung Fu or karate, which is not so confrontational, yeah, which doesn't confront you as often with a physical opponent. At least that's for Kung Fu, my experience. Just check out schools, check out different possibilities, There's a huge pool you can choose from, and just check it out for yourself and try to find out what's fun for you, what you like doing. And then next point, my last point, is health itself. Martial arts can also be done as fitness only. Like there's fit boxing, there's fit kickboxing, where you don't really punch things at all, or maybe you punch a punching bag, but you do it like to music in a certain rhythm, or you just do it to keep your body fit, which is a lot of fun too. And that's an option too. So you can also do martial arts or combat sports, or I think it's fitness. I don't even know how it's called, fit kickboxing or Taibo or whatever. You can also do that, which is a lot of fun, because martial arts, or at least let me give you the example of kickboxing, because this is what I know so well. When you train kickboxing, for example, you train your reflexes, you train your cardiovascular system, you train your muscles, and you train important muscles too, like your feet, because usually we train barefoot. And some people might know this, I talk about this a lot. If your feet are not strong enough, your whole system kind of fails, because if your feet are your base, from like your body's base. And if your feet fall to the inside or to the outside too much because of lack of muscle, which is a common problem in the Western world, your knees will follow, your hips will follow, your back will follow. There's just a chain reaction that's happening. And so you want your feet to be well trained. A lot of people don't know that, but it's a really, really important thing. And if you train martial arts barefoot, it's just the best thing you can do for your feet. Also, it trains your pelvic floor muscles, which is very important for women, especially if they have given birth. And I know this can be a tough issue. I know some women who have given birth have issues with peeing a little bit when they move too much. The example in kickboxing, we do a lot of rope jumping, for example. And I know this can be tough if your pelvic floor muscles are not so strong. So I urge you there to just take it slow. But it can also prevent a lot of things, like when you rope jump, your pelvic floor muscles have to hold. And what I heard, like last time, you guys know I've been training with pregnant women and postpartum. When I started out as a personal trainer, I'm kind of getting away from that, because I want to get more into martial arts and training people in martial arts and kickboxing. And but so the last class that I had of pelvic floor health, pelvic floor muscle health, it has been like 4 years ago or something. But I remember them telling us that if you have issues with your pelvic floor muscles, or like the like you have to pee when you sneeze or whatever, or when you jump rope, or let's use jump rope as an example. If you feel like you have to pee a little bit every time you jump rope, then this is actually studies show that this is a good training to get to the point of where you have to pee a little bit to strengthen your pelvic floor muscles. So maybe it's better to just use a pad and do the exercises anyway, because you will still end up strengthening your pelvic floor muscles. So that's one thing. Also, kickboxing is a sport that requires a lot of core strength. And I'm talking core strength not only on the outer side of your core, but the inner, like really core, the inner side of your core, because otherwise you couldn't even hold your balance or do a proper kick. So, and the inner side of your core is really close to your pelvic floor muscles. They kind of intertwined. So that's a good thing too. I mean, you can argue, hey, then I'd rather do Pilates or yoga or whatever, which is great stuff for pelvic floor muscles. I'm not gonna debate this, because you're right completely. I'm just saying, it's just one thing also martial art gives you. It's not only hitting people and kicking stuff, but it's also a really, really healthy exercise. And again, if you're gonna say, oh, but it's not healthy getting hit in the face all the time, agreed, fair enough, but you don't have to do this. When you join a martial arts class and it's not a fit martial arts class. It's just like a martial arts class or combat sports class. You get to choose the pace. And it's really important. I want to emphasize this. You get to choose the pace. If you do a partner exercise and your partner goes too strong, and you tell him or her that he or she is going too strong, and this person is not pulling back a little bit, that's bad. That's a bad school. Then talk to the teacher or switch your partner and say, it's just too much for me. Don't ever put your ego above that, and never, ever, ever. Also, if everybody in the school is just like super tough and goes as hard as they can, it's a bad school. Get out of there. And don't let them fool you. Usually you walk into a martial arts class, my experience again, you walk into a martial arts class and it feels like this tough boy club, but this is your perception, probably. And this is not necessarily the truth, because once you start training, people are actually really nice and really understanding and help you evolve. And this is what a good martial arts school does. This is what good team members of a martial arts school do, and also what a teacher should have happening in their class. So, and also there's a lot of women's classes too. So this is yeah, I really want to encourage you, if you've ever felt like you wanted to try martial arts, whether you're a woman or a man, it doesn't matter. But I mean, this episode is called We Need More Women in Martial Arts, which I still think is an issue, which I still think we do need more women in martial arts. Step into a martial arts gym and just try it out for yourself and see if you like it or not. And give it a little bit of time, because martial arts at the beginning, it's very tough and you're going to feel like you can't do shit and like you're never going to learn this. But trust me, you will, because I felt the same way. I was 25 when I first walked into a martial arts class, which is, I was grown. I was a big woman. I mean, old enough. I can't find words today. I was just, I was a grown-ass woman walking into a martial arts class. I was like, man, I'm never going to learn this. And now I'm 37 and I was supposed to have my second fight, even though it's an amateur fight. Doesn't matter. Give yourself time. Try it out. Give yourself a little bit of time. You might like it. You might not. That's fine. Both is fine. But don't ever let yourself or what you've learned in the past hold yourself back from finding your potential, from finding what brings you joy, and just try it out. And now I'm very curious about your opinion. What do you think? Does martial arts need more women? Also, what does women hold back from martial arts? Are we being trained to kind of try to avoid these situations? Is this just how our brains are wired? What is happening? What is going on? Let me know your thoughts. I would be really curious about what you think about the issue. And yeah, maybe I forgot to mention something that you think is worth being said also. And yeah, so tell me what you think, what your thoughts are. And yeah, I'll see you on the next episode. Follow me on LinkedIn, Tanja Mader, TANJAMADER. Follow me on Instagram at It's Up to You Personal Training. And on YouTube, it's Cats, Coffee, and Kickboxing. Follow me on my podcast, Fight for Love. And yeah, don't forget, you are stronger than you think. Leave a like, subscribe to my channel. I would be so honored to have you here. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.